Hey up guys, welcome back to another video. This is my optimal trophy guide and roadmap for Shadow of War. This came out on PS Plus November 2020, so I'm a few weeks late, but I'm hoping I can give you some nice hints here to give you a nice optimal way to get the platinum and to make it nice and quick and easy for you. There's a lot of outdated info out there on this game because a lot of updates came out and they changed a lot of things in the game, and a lot of guides they haven't actually updated to reflect that. So hopefully I can clear all that up for you guys and you can find up-to-date information within this guide. Right, let's dive into it. So we'll start with the trophy overview. Estimated difficulty, it's about a 4 out of 10, It may be a 5 or 3 for you, it depends on really if you play the first game, Shadow of Mordor, and how quick you pick up the mechanics. It's an RPG, but it's not your traditional RPG. There's a lot of mechanics at play here that you're probably not quite used to in an RPG, and a lot of them do get quite deep. So I think the difficulty mainly comes with sort of learning the game and all the mechanics, really. So it really depends on you, how quick you pick the game up, guys, and how quick and how well you sort of gel all the mechanics together, because that's really where the difficulty becomes either harder or a bit easier. But on average, it's about 4 out of 10. Estimated time, about 20 hours. A lot of guides do say 50 hours, but an update did come out that made it a bit easier, made it a bit quicker. It's not as grindy now, but if you do the bare minimum, for platinum, you're looking at about 20 hours. That's a bare minimum. If you're actually grinding and doing things that are not required for platinum, obviously that time's going to creep up if you're doing things that are not required. The thing is, when you're playing the game, you may not exactly realise if something's required for platinum or not. That's the thing. So, but if you're doing the bare minimum, 20 hours. I've done a platinum walkthrough. I get platinum in about 16 or 17 hours or so, I think it is, and it's all, it's all recorded. So it can be done in 20 hours and less, but bare minimum, guys, minimum is 20 hours. And if you're exploring, obviously that's going to creep up. Right, online trophies. 2. There used to be 3 online trophies, but since the update came out a while ago, there's only 2 now. One of them's really easy to get and the other one's quite tedious, but I'll touch upon that a bit later in the trophy guide. Missable trophies, none. Yeah, there are no missable trophies, 0. A lot of trophy guides say that there are 2 or 3 missable trophies, but again, it's outdated info. It's from before, basically at the end of the game. You can complete the game now and you can get every trophy. So if you want to play blind and not worry about trophies to begin with, guys, just do that, and then once you complete the game, go and look at any guides anywhere and you can get every trophy. No missables. Difficulty trophies, there are none. 0, so you can play no difficulty trophies, so you can play in easy. Playthroughs, only 1. Right, let's get onto the roadmap. The trophy roadmap, part 1. Yeah, I've split this into 2 parts just because I couldn't fit step 3 and 4 on the same page. So step 1, make your way through the game to the quest, the Etten in Act 2, purify the Hyder Towers and grab all collectibles along the way. Now the Hyder Towers, there's 3 in each region, and when you purify them, will make all the collectibles appear. So as you go through the game, just purify Hyder Towers and get all the collectibles that you find. And the Etten quest is in Act 2 and it requires you to attack a fort, so you know when you get there. Basically, when you get to the Etten, stop what you're doing and we're going to basically follow what I'm going to explain to you in a second. And the next part in step 1, once you get the dominate skill for the remainder of the game, always shame assassins that you meet until one becomes deranged. That's basically something that you need to apply for the whole of the game. That's basically a little tip that you need to apply for the whole game. The dominate skill, you unlock it in Act 2 and it lets you recruit a captain, and dominate, it lets you dominate orcs. And when you dominate a captain, you get like a few options, like sort of multiple choicing, sort of like a dialogue choice, I guess. And you can choose to shame or recruit or fight to the death, for example. Whenever you get an assassin, whenever you find an assassin class, you always want to dominate them and always choose shame. And when you shame an enemy, there's a very small chance that they can become deranged. And there's a trophy for making an assassin deranged. I think it's called Everything is Permitted. I think that's the name of the trophy. But that trophy is pretty random. just because when you shame an enemy, there's a very small chance of them becoming deranged, and it's got to be an assassin. It can't just be anyone, it's got to be an assassin class. So always, when you come across an assassin, guys, and you're fighting them, always dominate them and always shame them until one becomes deranged, and that will just help you. It'll prevent you, hopefully, having to grind that trophy later on. So that's step 1, guys. Basically, just make your way to the Etten quest, get all the collectibles along the way, and always shame assassins. Step 2, before you begin the Etten quest, so it sort of ties into step 1 in a way. Before we do the Etten quest, step 2, this is optional, you can earn some of the more tedious missed trophies. Like I said earlier, you can get all the trophies at the end of the game, but if you do some of the trophies before you actually begin the Etten quest, they're a little bit easier. I mean, they're not a great deal easier because you don't have a lot of your abilities unlocked. You'll still be quite low level, so a lot of your skills will still sort of be locked, like your best skills like Shadow Strike, Pull, you won't be able to use that yet. But you may just want to get a few of the more tedious missed trophies out of the way. The trophies I'm talking about is there's a trophy for letting an orc kill you 3 times and then dominate it. There's a trophy for having 2 spies on a war chief and then killing that war chief. Just some trophies like that, some little missed trophies. You may want to get them now, but it's not a big deal if you don't. You can get them end game. But before you start the Etten quest, make sure you go offline. Make sure you go offline. I've said it there. Before you begin the Etten quest, earn some of the more tedious missed trophies, then go offline for the remainder of the game, complete the Etten, and make your way to the Shadow Wars in Act 4. Yeah, before you start the Etten quest, guys, make sure you go offline. Very important. I'll explain a bit more on this later, but make sure you go offline before you start the Etten quest. And stay offline for the remainder of the game. Once you've done the Etten quest, make your way all the way to the end of this, not to the end, to the start of the Shadow Wars. Do the Etten, make your way to the start of the Shadow Wars. But along the way, obviously make sure you grab all the collectibles along the way. And once you unlock the Prospector skill upgrade, you want to acquire some perfect gems. Now, a quick thing on the Prospector skill. The Prospector skill upgrade, you unlock it by finding all the artifacts. And there's not many artifacts, I think there's about 55 or something in total. You get all the artifacts and then there'll be one more that you'll need. And you'll probably be thinking, where the hell is this last artifact? And it's actually locked behind a quest. So once you've got all the artifacts, you want to do all the Gondor quests. Yes, Gondor, remember that word, Gondor quests. And there's a quest in the Gondor tree. You won't see it to begin with, but once you start doing the Gondor quest later on, once you unlock all the regions, you'll actually unlock more Gondor quests, and there'll be one, and it'll say reward artifact, and that'll be the last artifact that you need. So that's how you get Prospector skill. Once you get the Prospector skill, what it does is it increases the rarity of the gems that can drop. Bloody hell, I'm giving a lot of information here. If it's just pretty complicated, guys, you can just ask me questions in the comments, by the way. Or another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to link all the trophies in the description where I earn them in my Platinum walkthrough. So if you want to shoot ahead quickly to where I earn a trophy myself in my walkthrough, where I get commentary as well, you can look at that, and I'll probably break it down at the same time as well as we acquire it. You can get a bit more information on it if you want. So sorry, Prospector skill upgrade, yeah, it'll allow you to get rarer gem drops from treasure orcs. So once you get that, you probably want to equip it and then go around a fort and just keep killing treasure orcs, getting rare gems, and eventually you should be able to forge them into perfect gems. And you want to forge perfect gems on your armor and your cloak, really, because they'll increase the XP that you acquire. Right, let's get on to part 2 of the roadmap. Part 2, step 3. Complete the Shadow Wars, recruiting as many captains as you can in the process, then get your combined defense rating of all forts to 1250 plus, then go online and advance time in each region, and that will easily get you the 2500 plus assault rating needed for the more tedious online trophy. Now that last part in step 3 is going to sound a bit complicated, and you're going to be looking at that and you're going to be thinking, what the fuck am I talking about? Yeah, I'm sure that's what you're going to be thinking. But to begin with, basically complete the Shadow Wars, and while you're completing them, you're going to recruit as many captains as you can in the process. And the way I do Shadow Wars personally, defending a fort is actually more difficult than actually capturing the fort. So what I do, I normally begin a fort defense sort of mission, and then I lose the fort on purpose, But the way I lose it, you can just, as soon as a siege begins, just press pause and go into the sort of pause menu and leave the mission. And once you leave the mission, you lose the fort, and then you go back to the quest marker, and then you can attack the fort, and that is easier than actually defending it. So that's what I normally do. I normally just lose the fort and then attack it. And attacking the fort, you want to use the Shadow Strike pull. The Shadow Strike, the pull upgrade, so you can actually pull an enemy to you. You can pull an enemy to you, and what that does, that lets you go high up on a tower, and you can pick out captains. If they're arrow proof, it won't work, but most of them it will work on. You pull them up to you, and then you can actually just fight them one on one. And if you combine that with a skill in the story tree, in the drained skill, and upgrade for that, which lets you replenish arrows every time you dominate, it's a great way, and it sort of works off itself. It's a great way to dominate. You just pull a captain up to you, dominate them, do it for another one. You can fight them all one on one. Makes it a lot easier. So you do the Shadow Wars first, get as many captains as you can in the process, and that last part, get your combined defense rating. Basically, you want to do that when you finish the game. So you do the Shadow Wars, that will be the end of the game. And then what you want to do is work on getting your defense ratings up, defense rating off your fort. Don't worry about the assault force rating, your defense rating. Get that up. You should still be offline on this at this point, like I mentioned at step 2 in the guide, I think it was step 2. So you should still be offline. Get all your defense ratings up. You don't have to get them all really high. Basically, the combined total of your 4, sorry about that, I just knocked my little laptop holder stand thing. So you want to get your combined defense rating of all 4 regions, your forts, to add up to 1250 or more. Make sure it adds up to 1250 or more. Then what you want to do, you want to turn your network on, so you go online. Then you need to advance time in each region, and what that will do, you'll get your assault rating, your online assault rating. It will copy your defense rating at that time. So whatever you've got in the defense rating total, so if you've got, for example, 1300 in total in your defense rating, if you then go online, advanced time in each region, you'll then get 1300 in your assault rating as well. So you end up with 2600, and you'll easily get the trophy for getting the captain rank online. It's quite complicated, but if you look in my description, you can just click the link and go straight to where I earn it in my platinum walkthrough, and you can just hear me there talk about it a bit more. You can actually see it, you can actually see what I mean actually in motion, in progress, and it may just allow you to sort of understand it a bit better. Step 4, now you have all these tedious trophies out of the way and to finish the game, you'll now need to clean up any remaining trophies. Once done, you and your army can enjoy your new platinum by celebrating with a huge feast. Orcs, beasts, and men unite. Yeah, so step 4, basically at the very end of the game, once you've got your captain rank, obviously you'll be online now. You want to clean up all the trophies, Your probably most grindiest one is going to be the pit fights, doing the pit fights. But the thing about the pit fights, you want to try and get a berserker class. You want to find one of your captains which is a berserker, and you want to look at his traits and make sure he's got loads of traits, well, loads of hates, so he gets enraged by a lot of things, and it's good if he has a lot of immunities as well. In my walkthrough, I found a berserker. He was like arrow proof, beast proof, fire proof. He's enraged by about 8 different things, and he had almost no vulnerabilities. So he was great berserker. Berserker's really good, and that one person, that one captain, he took me all the way through all the pit fights, and he only lost once. But one thing about losing in the pit fights, if you close the application as you die, you will not lose that captain. You will not lose that captain. And if you manage to actually press pause and quit to main menu just before he gets killed, you can do it that way. So if he's about to die, you can quit to main menu from the actual pause menu, or if he does die, quickly close the application, and then it will not save him being dead. So that's a way to keep your pit fighter. And what I do, I normally level up one captain, the one I want, like I say, a berserker. I level him up. I give him some good traits in the training. By training him in the army, I'll make him epic. I don't make him legendary, it costs too much, but I make him epic. I give him like a probably gang. I normally make him so he's got the buff that makes him gives him more health, I give him that. And I also, depending on this opponent, if the opponent's weak to fire, I give him a fire weapon. But the weapon he has, I normally look at the opponent first and find out what they're weak to, and then just change the weapon. It only costs 500 Miriam, so I normally change the weapon depending on the battle. But I always make sure they've got a gang, like I say, they've got epic and they've got a lot of health. I normally do that for them, for my pit fighter. And what you can do, you can put him in the garrison. You can put that pit fighter in the garrison, and you can take him to all the regions. So you won't have to actually get a good fighter in each region. You can just get one good pit fighter, and then once you've done all the pit fights in a region, put him in the garrison, and then you can get him out in another region. And that, I just found that way a bit easier and less grindy. And that's step 4, guys. Yeah, there are some annoying trophies, I'd say, probably, which you may want to get in step 4. But if you are actually having trouble with any trophies, and you may just want a different perspective or probably a unique way to get them, like I say, look in my description, and there you'll find a link to every single trophy where I acquire them in my platinum walkthrough, and it will just show you a nice easy way to get most of them trophies. Because when I do acquire a trophy, I normally just give it some details on it. Unless it's a more tricky one, I'll probably do go into a lot more detail or explain a bit more throughout the guide. But I've just got one more bit I want to show you. So last of all, guys, if you need more information on any particular trophies or more in-depth details on any of my strategies mentioned here, then please refer to the video description where you'll find links to each trophy within my platinum walkthrough at the point I earn them. So yeah, this is like I was saying earlier, if you need any help on any other trophies that I've probably not gone into too much detail with, just look in the description and you'll find all the info there, guys. But I hope it helped, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. Catch you later.